Hello, I'm Single-Minded Ryan. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this damage number effect in Godot 4.5. My approach is very simple. I'm just going to pack a label node in the scene file and initiate the scene file at the enemy's position so the damage number is going to pop up. First, I'm going to add a label node to my enemy scene file. Rename the label node to damage label. Let's just put a placeholder number in the text field. Set horizontal alignment to center and vertical alignment to center too. Then go to transform under layout. I'm going to set the size of the label to 50 by 30. And we want the pivot point to be sitting at the center of the label. We can do that by setting the pivot offset to half of the size. Then let's make the size of the text smaller by decreasing the scale to 0.4. Notice that I do not decrease the font size of the text, because that is going to make the text blurry. Next, we want the label to be on top of everything else. So let's set the z-index to 100. Then I'm going to add a new script to the label. This script is going to animate the label so it looks like the damage number floats upward. But before we start writing the code, let's convert this damage label node into a scene file. Just drag the node into somewhere in the project folder. And we actually don't need it in the enemy scene, since we are going to instantiate the damage number every time the enemy gets hit. But before we delete the damage label, we need to find out the right position where we want to instantiate it. So let me just move the label to somewhere above the enemy. I think this place is great. And we can go to transform to check the position. The position is -25 and -70. This is the relative position to the center point of the enemy scene. And we need to take note of this position, since we need it in the code. Alright, now we can remove the damage label node. And let's switch to the new script we just created. Before we continue, I want to briefly mention that the project that I am using here is from a new Godot course on Udemy. The course is going to help you understand how to make a 2D top-down game with Godot from scratch. I'll link a discount coupon in the description below. Please consider to give it a try if you are interested. Alright, go back to the video. First, we want to animate the label, and we can do it in the built-in _ready function. In the function, let me create a tween for the animations. First, I want to make the damage number bigger. Then I want it to move upward. Then I want it to become smaller until the size becomes 0. I'm going to divide all of these into 3 animations. Let's set the tween to parallel, so all of the animations start at the same time. This is going to help us manage the timing of the animations easier. For the first animation, let's call the tween property function on the tween. And we want to change the scale property. The target value is 0.7 and 0.7, and the duration is 0.2 seconds. So this animation happens really fast. For the next animation, we also want to animate the scale property. This time, the target value is vector2.0, and the duration is 0.5 seconds. But we want this to happen after the first animation. So let's set the delay to 0.4 seconds. For the last animation, we want to change the Y value of the position, and we want the damage number to move upward by 80 pixels. And the duration of the animation is 2 seconds. Let's also set the delay to 0.4 seconds, so this animation starts at the same time with the second one. The last thing is to remove the damage number from the scene after all the animations are finished. And that's it for this script. Next, we need to instantiate the damage number whenever the enemy is attacked. The code that damages the enemy is in my base character script, so let's go to this script. You can ignore all of the code in this script since it has nothing to do with this video. Just focus on the code I'm about to write. First, we want the damage label scene file. Let's hold the control key and drag it into the script. Then let's go to the getHit function. And let's add some code under the line that damages the enemy. In fact, this script is also used by my player, so we'll also see the damage number on the player when the player is attacked by the enemy. Go back to the script. Let's first initiate a new damage number using the scene file. I'm going to store the result in a variable called new damage label. Notice that I cast the new damage label into a label node. This way we can update its text property. So let me just set the text property to the damage that the enemy just received. Next, we need to update the position of the new damage label to the position of the enemy. And we also don't want to miss the offset value. This way, the number is going to appear on top of the enemy. Then we need to add the new damage label into the current game scene. Notice that I don't want the number to move with the enemy, so I just add the new damage label to the rule node of the scene. Alright, we have finished, and this is the final result. I hope you've learned something new, and please check out my new Godot course on Udemy. Thanks, and see you next time.